All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Word with Ty Brownlow. I'm your host, Ty Brownlow, and remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm hanging out in the celebrity lounge, as I like to call it. And today, my guest is Miss Royce Reed. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me. I don't call myself a celebrity, though. I'm just like somebody. No, because I hate that term because I feel like I haven't done enough to really be considered a celebrity. Once you start seeing me in movies and on TV more without doing a reality show, then I'll take that. But until then, I'll just say like someone that people kind of know.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? Someone that people know. I'm hanging out with someone that people know. All right.
Okay.
How about that? What's going on with you? First and foremost, let me just ask. This 2020, we can find plenty of words to say about 2020, but we're not going to say the negative. I'm going to take it in a totally different way. For you, how has or what positive spin has 2020 been for you?
2020 has given me clarity, whether that's in relationships with friends or, significant others. Like, it's just giving me clarity on what I really want and where I want my life to go. It's giving me time to really reflect on where I am and where I want to be. I think a lot of people wanted 2020 to just be this awesome, great year. Like, oh my God, it's 2020. It's a turn of like, when all of this hit, at first I was like, wait a minute, what the hell?
Right.
Anything I wanted to do. For my birthday, I was supposed to go to Bali because it was my 40th and didn't happen. But I've spent a lot more time with family. Braylon is homeschooling, so that's been a task in itself, but it's been good because it's given us time to really get to know each other more than me sending him off to school, picking him up, taking him to a sport, coming back. It's time to eat, go to sleep. You don't really have time to converse. So it's helped me build my relationships with people close to me. And like I said, clarity on where I want my life to be. So I've been writing again. I'm doing the show, The Kickback, that is coming out next year. I have my ballet athletics company that, I'm really concentrating on. So it's just giving me time to like really write out my vision board and follow it.
Okay. Now, first and foremost, let me just say, those are, you've been killing these goals over here, all right? Because everything you just named, from homeschooling to the athletics to like the show to everything else, balancing all that with everything else going on, pretty much in the world, I commend you for that, first and foremost. But I want to dive a little bit, into what you just talked about, especially like, homeschool versus regular school. Now, as you said before, pre-COVID, and it's funny that we just use these terms now, pre-COVID. But months ago, there was no issue with getting up. Oh, okay, hey, get your dress. Oh, okay, everything's cool. Here's something to eat. Boom, out the door, school. Life goes on. Right. Now, on the flip side, as you said before, there's more, time to converse or what have you. But what understanding do you have more of now that you didn't have before COVID? Pretty much as far as homeschooling and just being a mom.
Well, for me, Braylon is in a homeschool program where he works at his own pace. They do have a pace chart that you can follow, but if you want to work past that or work a little bit slower, you can, as long as everything is turned in by the end of the semester. It's not a flex program because they do have those as well, but it's the virtual school program where they're in all of their core subjects and they have a list of the assignments that they need to do, the lessons, the videos. They can attend live lessons if they need to, but if they don't, they can go ahead and do their work and they're done. Versus I know a lot of kids they have to sit in front of an actual laptop or an iPad for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Braylon's school, he initially had that option, but it did not work for him. That's what he had to follow the second semester last year. Right. And it was like pulling teeth, because Braylon actually does have legit, and I know in our culture, they always say, just whoop they behind. Braylon actually has ADHD. He has an Einstein version because he's extremely smart. He scores high, but it's hard for him to focus. So it's like that Einstein picture where it has all these things coming out his head.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So Braylon's actual hands-on activity, he can't really sit still, so being in front of that computer every single day.
Yeah.
For all those hours with, small little breaks here and there, but not being able to actually speak to your friends and all that stuff, it was extremely hard for him. So that was a struggle. So what we chose to do was follow the Florida virtual school guidelines, and he's in there full time, but he only works on one subject a day. So on Mondays, for example, he'll do civics. And he has a live lessons for civics from 10:30 to 12 if it's that long. Most of the time it's only 30 minutes. And then they have assignments to do for that actual lesson. He does them. He's done with civics for the entire week. So we're talking about, 2 hours, maybe 3 if he's being hard-headed that day, a day. And that gives him time to then explore other stuff that he likes to do. Whether it's building something, because he's been putting nails in my walls, to being able to, really just grow as a person. And I think that was missing in school. So for me, homeschool works. He wants to go back to school next year. We're discussing it.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I've learned from it. And I still give so much respect to teachers. I was an education major.
Yes.
But entered the classroom, I subbed a few times, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to jail. I'm not doing this. So, yeah.
Ooh, okay, all right. Hey, you know what? And you are correct. Hats off to all educators out there, man. People, I feel, are on the front lines, definitely, handling our youth and young adults. Hats off to you, man. Prayers are with you.
The parents don't find anything wrong with their child.
You know what? That's a whole nother show. Royce. That's a whole nother show. But now you mentioned something about your own TV show you have coming out next year. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's called The Kickback. One thing I noticed during this whole summer of COVID and stuff and quarantine was the conversations of teens. And, there's no locked doors in my house, okay?
Oh, okay,
so,
all right.
I can check Braylon's messages on his Instagram. I listen in on some of his conversations, I'll look at whatever text messages he was sending when he had a phone, and just the conversations that they have, but it's hard for him to speak to me. I realize that I am no longer the cool teacher or big sister, and it hurts because when I first started my company, I was 29, and I was like the big sister. They would tell me everything, Now that I'm 40, it's like they're looking at me like, right on the cusp, you know what I mean? So they open with me about some things, but just the conversations they have together, I think is more of what we need. So I decided to come up with a show that was just for teens, and they are discussing everything from A to Z, whether it's like the song of that week to George Floyd, whether it's, relationships in high school to being bullied in middle school. You know what I mean? Things like that they can talk about amongst each other and give each other advice on, and not have to worry about like, oh my God, is my mom going to judge me, if I say this? So it's kind of like Teen Summit Uncensored.
Okay. Now, for those of you who don't know anything about Teen Summit, let me just tell you, back in the day when BET
was.
I'm going to go there, but back in the day, BET had a program called Teen Summit. They had Ananda Lewis on, and before Ananda, there was some other guests. Host. I can't make the name out now, but very popular show. And as Royce said, everything Royce is talking about is pretty much what the show was geared towards. So let me ask you, where can we catch this show, or where will this show air?
Well, right now we're probably going to start it as just an IG series live, and then it'll be uploaded to our YouTube channel. And we want to do it live because we want to give people a chance to have a Q&A session with the teens, whether, it's people at home that are watching. Mm-hmm. And, sometimes it may be a parent like, hey, I'm having this issue with my teenage daughter. How do you all talk to your parents about this? And they can give advice on that. Or if it's just teens that are looking, and one day it's about a deep subject that maybe they can't talk to their parent about, they're looking like, what's she gonna say? You know what I mean? Just to know that they're not alone in their thoughts and their feelings. Mm-hmm. But what I was gonna say, as far as it being like Teen Summit Uncensored, I say uncensored because there's very rarely going to be an adult moderator. We're going to let the kids handle it. We've been working with them on learning how to not to talk over each other, learning how to actually run the show, because we have 2 hosts, that are their age. Mm-hmm. And the great part is the kids that we're going to be working with, they do know each other. So it's not like they're going to be talking to a stranger like,
I'm not telling you all my business.
Right. Going to say something. Exactly.
Right. Right.
Granted, it's going to be live, it's going to be streamed.
Yeah, but
conversation between them. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. You know what? I can't wait, because I'm going to tell you, as a person who works with youth and young adults, I too know how it is to get them to open up. And as you said, I feel like they have a little clock in their head. Once you're past a certain age, you know what? We can tell you some stuff, but we're not going to tell you this,
Right.
So.
And I don't think I answered the question, but where can you find it? Outside of, like I said, it being on the IG and the YouTube, we're looking to actually get it on TV. So we're speaking to Zeus because network, and we're trying to work with us. But until then, if you go on Instagram, just started the page. It's called The Kickback, and it's spelled _kickback_TWT. And you'll see it because the whole logo is like a house, but it's The Kickback, and it's talking with teens, and they call themselves the teens of today. So
okay, all right, the teens of. I can only imagine what the teens of today have to say. I can only imagine. But no, I look forward to that. And as you said, on the IG, and man, you're going to give us that in just a few minutes, because my next question, I just have to ask this question because this is the question my show is known for.
Okay.
What is the one word that best describes you, and why?
Versatile. Ever heard, right? No. I get that question a lot, and it's hard to describe myself in one word because I can adapt to any situation. I can be loud and boisterous. I can be quiet and shy. It all depends on my environment and my comfort level. A lot of people tell me I have a resting bee face at times. And sometimes I guess I can look unapproachable, but I don't get that because I feel like I speak to everybody. I'm that person that if I see an old lady struggling to get something at the grocery store, I'm gonna help her. If I see, someone in a wheelchair, trying to put groceries in a car, I'm gonna help, and I teach that to my child. But I'm also that person, if you purposely cut me off, I might, go off on you. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't see the
horn honking and some finger pointing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, I think versatile because, again, I feel like I adapt. I feel like I'm a chameleon.
If people want to get in contact with you, if they want to holler at you, be like, oh, Royce, man, what's going on, this, that, and the other. How can people follow you? How can people get in contact with you?
If you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram name, super easy. It's just Royce Reed. That's RoyceReed. On Twitter, it's Royce LR. What else am I on? Facebook, Royce Reed. I'm not really active on my TikTok, but again, Royce Reed. It's pretty much my name for everything except Twitter, which is Royce LR. Because Royce Reed was taken. It was taken by this old lady who I heard died a few years ago. But she was pretty well known, apparently.
Okay. Well, they may have to get that name up. I mean, I don't know. Oh, I'm just saying, Twitter. Hey,
Right.
Need to get to work on that. All right. Hey, I thank you for being my guest today, for hanging out with me, and as someone that people should know. So I thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Word with Ty Brownlow. I've been your host, Ty Brownlow. You can follow me on social media at Word with Ty Brownlow on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Follow me on Twitter, Ty Brownlow TV, or just go to the website, tybrownlow.com. Get this wonderful interview with Royce, plus other great interviews. And man, Royce Reed, I thank you. Peace.
You are welcome. Bye.
Bye.